What is up, ladies and gentlemen, but mostly you ladies out there? Thanks for clicking on another episode of Break the Silence with Cyborg. I'd like to ask you all to remove your hats and let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. Tonight, I am declaring my Boston Celtics officially dead. And you heard that correctly. They are my Boston Celtics. They have been since I was 7 years old. And they have provided a lot of joy and a lot of grief in my lifetime. And as Thanos said, the toughest decisions require the strongest wills. So tonight I stand before you, sit before you, saying this is the end of the 2022 Boston Celtics. Now, I'd like to take a quick second for some housekeeping here before we get into the game and the season. If you wouldn't mind taking a second to like and subscribe to the channel. We had a ton of new viewers in my last video. It was 5 times the most views I've ever got. We're trying to grow this thing. We got a bunch of new subscribers. If you wouldn't mind taking a second, subscribe, like, and give me your reaction to the game in the comment section down below. Let's start having some debates. Let's start having some things there. Talk about some topics you'd like to hear me talk about. This off season, you're going to wonder what sports to watch because we're not watching baseball. But right here on the Break the Silence with Cyborg show, we're going to have content all off season for you. So please like and subscribe and get ready for that content coming forward. Tonight, we just watched Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, where the Golden State Warriors took a 3-2 lead. Exactly as I predicted the series has gone so far, I've been dead nuts, unfortunately. I've predicted every game correctly, and after the last game, I had a take. And I'm not a big take guy. I'm more of an analysis guy. But I believe that my take was based off of analysis. That the Boston Celtics lost the NBA Finals after Game 4. That was the game they lost it, not tonight. And I'm going to post that little clip right here. So just so you know, I'm telling the truth. The problem tonight, and I'm going to make a big statement here, is that I believe the Golden State Warriors won the NBA Finals tonight. But now that you're back, the reason I said the Celtics would lose this series after losing last game is because when palms get sweaty, when butt cheeks get clenched, and you get nervous, you revert back to what's natural to you. And tonight, we saw what was natural to the Boston Celtics. And I'm going to talk about 3 players for the Celtics tonight. Jayson Tatum played pretty solid, but he didn't distribute the basketball the same way he has in their wins in this series. He turned the ball over at a high clip. Jaylen Brown was an absolute disaster with the basketball in his hand, putting in by far his worst game of the series. And Marcus Smart flopped all over the place. I don't normally call out people for flopping, but Marcus Smart was unbelievably painful to watch tonight as a Celtics fan. The problem with the Boston Celtics is that they have this overwhelming desire to complain to the referees after every single play. And it is so painful to watch. When things are going bad for the Celtics, every shot they take, they look at the ref and they don't get back on defense. The Celtics, I've talked a lot about this in this series. The Celtics are not a good transition defense. One, because they turn it over at a high clip. But I think the true reason that they're not a good transition defense is because of how much they complain to the referees. Now, let me give you this stat here to back up my point. The Celtics, after a miss on defense, give up 110 points per possession. After a miss, okay? And you're like, Silas, what does that mean? I need, Cyborg, what does that mean? I need some reference there. In the half-court defense, the Celtics give up 93 points per possession. What does this tell you? One, your transition defense is terrible. But the problem is, after every time the Celtics miss a shot, one guy stays back and complains to the ref without fail. Or Jaylen Brown is laying on the ground just out of control. And it's so painful to watch as a Celtics fan. You're just screaming at the TV screen. Tonight, the Celtics should have won that game. Steph Curry played his worst playoff game so far this year. And the first game in his entire career that he hit no three-pointers in a playoff game. And the Celtics couldn't pull it out. And was it because some other guy lit him up? No. Wiggins gave you 26 points. That's pretty solid. And 13 rebounds. Clay gave you 21. That's not extraordinary. Jordan Poole was okay. No, it had nothing to do with the Warriors' offense. It's because the Celtics won't stop reverting to their old ways. The Celtics turn the ball over at a high clip, and I've talked about this ad nauseum in every one of my videos. And if you want to go back and watch, go watch the videos. When the Celtics turn the ball over more than 16 times, they never win. When they turn it over less than 16 times, they're virtually unbeatable. That's the difference between winning and losing for the Celtics. Tonight, palms got sweaty. And the Celtics shot 21 of 31 from the free throw line, which comes to somewhere around 67%, which is terrible. In the biggest game of your season on the line, finals on the line, you go up to the free throw line and you waste possession after possession after turnover of terrible basketball. And then you want to complain to the refs and act like for some reason it was the refs' fault that you lost. And you're going to see it all over social media. You're going to see people complaining about the refs. You shot 31 free throws. Hit your free throws and you don't lose this game. The Celtics started this game tonight with the most missed threes to start a game in the last 25 years in the NBA Finals. Tonight you saw everything that is wrong with the Boston Celtics and why I didn't pick them to win the finals. Because I don't believe that you can have this many games playing this poorly and still be the NBA champion. It will come back to bite you. And against this Golden State Warriors team that has so much experience, it came back to bite you. Against the Nets, who were a mess, didn't matter. Against the Milwaukee Bucks without Chris Middleton, you barely squeaked through. Against the Heat with Jimmy Butler hurt and really not being a great Heat squad, you barely squeaked through. But it's not going to work this time. The Warriors are different. The Warriors are different. Steph wasn't great tonight, and to me, looking at it from a Warriors perspective, there's not all that much to point out. They played a pretty solid basketball game. They played really good defensively. They went back to the smaller lineup and started Looney on the bench again, which I thought was interesting because I didn't think they had great success with it in Game 4. But tonight, Looney got 3 fouls in like 2 minutes, and he was off the court. Steph Curry, this is the worst game you're going to get from Steph. And I kept complaining when I was watching the games, like, why can't Steph have one bad game? Give us one bad game and give us a chance in this series. The only thing I might be wrong about in this series is I predicted that the Warriors would win in 7. Honestly, after tonight's performance, the Warriors might win in 6. I don't even know why the Celtics show up next game. That was a disgraceful performance that I watched tonight, and a team that was not ready for the moment. A team that didn't play like they were in the NBA Finals. The problem is they keep having these possessions. They'll go through a stretch where they play decent and they hit 8 threes in a row tonight. And then they have a possession where Jaylen Brown gets the ball, dribbles into a bunch of contested defenders, shoots a garbage shot, looks at the ref, complains for a foul, easier Warriors bucket. The Warriors in that fourth quarter, pretty much the whole fourth quarter was easy layup, easy layup, easy layup. Celtics had and I wish I would have written this down, had 4 points like 8 minutes into the fourth quarter because their offense completely stalled out. This is why this is the most baffling team I've ever watched. Someone tweeted tonight that after watching this game, they feel like they don't understand basketball anymore. And it's such a good way to put it because the Celtics sometimes look like such a great basketball team and then sometimes look like they don't even know what they're doing out there. And for the majority of tonight, they looked like they didn't know what they're doing out there. And this is the most heated you'll probably ever see me in a video. But I feel like it's deserved. I feel like the Celtics didn't go out there and put together a performance that was required in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. If you go out there and you play well and Steph is on fire and Clay is on fire and you lose that game, respectful. Steph was not good tonight. He was 7 of 22 shooting for 16 points. He took 6 more shots than he had points. And you lost by double digits. Embarrassing. The Celtics are getting nothing from their bench. Derek White was terrible tonight. Grant Williams, I don't even want to get started on Grant Williams. The guy comes in for 1 minute, gets a foul, and complains to the ref, starts screaming at Ime Udoka, can you please challenge it? The Celtics get way too caught up in the referees. Do I think the referees in the NBA are great? No. And I'll make a video at some point talking about, there was a statement in one of the games where the Steve Javie guy came on and said that the referees decide if something's a technical based off of how many technicals the player already has. And to me, a foul is a foul and a technical is a technical. It should be the same all the time because we get no consistency from the referees. But that has nothing to do with this series. The only thing it has to do with this series is that the Celtics feel the need to think that the refs are in complete control. You can't go in driving to the lane and throw up a shot in triple coverage and just say, hey, I should have got a foul call. You got to the free throw 31 times. That's enough to win a ball game. This was an embarrassing performance. And honestly, that's why I'm wearing my Lakers Kobe jersey tonight. Because I'm embarrassed to say I'm a Boston Celtics fan. And this is my brand new jersey, and I'm hyped that I got it. My roommate, one of my favorite gifts. But this was embarrassing. I'm out of here.